Good morning. Happy, healthy, fabulous. And I'm Ro, your happy mindset coach. And today we're going to continue talking about forgiveness. Yesterday I asked you to think about anyone that you haven't forgiven, anyone that you hold any anger, resentment, or hatred for. And we're going to work with forgiving them and how forgiveness sets you free. Forgiveness empowers you. So it's really important not to hold those feelings of anger, resentment, and hatred in your heart. But the first person on your list of people to forgive should be yourself. If you don't forgive yourself and you hold that anger, resentment, hatred inside of you for yourself, it's not going to be easy or even possible to forgive other people, let alone be happy. Okay, so let's look at ourselves. And the way I do these vlogs is in the morning, I do my meditation, my grateful meditation, and then right after that, as I'm meditating, I think about the message for today and what I want to talk about. And so I knew that I had to give an example of forgiveness, so I thought about it today and the tears came. So I brought my tissues and I didn't wear eyeliner. And I want to give you an example because in 75 years, I've done things that were not kind to other people, usually not on purpose, but nonetheless, people were hurt, okay? And I learned from that. And I've done things out of fear, out of anger, that I'm not proud of, but I learned from it and I moved on. So here's one of the main things that I did that still makes me cry. Not because I'm holding on to it, because I don't forgive myself, but because when you forgive yourself or forgive others, you let go of the pain and the anger and the resentment, but you still feel the sadness. You don't forget. You just forgive and let it go. Okay, so this is what I did. I was probably 11 or 12, and I was in that stage where I was afraid to talk to people. I, was uncomfortable. I was very self-conscious. And, so different when I was little. When I was little, I was out there dancing in the streets. I was out. But I got to that stage, and I was standing at a light, ready to cross the street. I was going to school, and it was early, and so there weren't a lot of people around, and this man was stopped at the light, and a little dog came, ran across the street, and ran under his car. And I looked, and I didn't see the dog leave. And I thought, I should tell that man not to go. But I was so paralyzed with fear about talking to someone and, inflicting my opinion or whatever. I was so uncomfortable and so self-conscious that I didn't say anything. I just stood there paralyzed. And the light turned and he went, and the little dog got hit. And I still remember that. And I went home and I cried. I cried and cried and cried for that little dog. And then there was no way to make it right because the little dog didn't have a leash or collar or anything. So I thought, how can I make this right? And I knew that I needed to learn from that. And I needed to let go of those feelings of being scared, and because it didn't do any good. It didn't help me, and it didn't help the little dog. And I decided that I'm going to be better, and I'm not going to be afraid, and I'm going to help people and little animals when I can. And so I forgave myself after I did a lot of crying. I still cry about it. And I became a better person. And I wasn't afraid anymore. And And there was a time, years after that, when I was driving, and this little dog ran out in the road. It was a little puppy. And there were other cars coming. I pulled over. I stopped my car, and I stopped it, like I pulled over a little bit, stopped it in the road. And I stood in the road so the cars wouldn't come. And I tried to get the little puppy to come, but he couldn't. He just was too young. He just didn't. He was just running. So I stopped the cars, and I apologized to the cars. I said, we have to get the puppy out of the road. And then all of a sudden, these people ran out of their house. They said, oh my God, thank you for saving our puppy. So it was one way of making amends. And, you know, if any situation comes like that, I'll continue to do that, because that's what you do when you make mistakes. You forgive yourself, you learn, and you make amends. Okay? So that's my example. So whatever you've done, go into it, forgive yourself, get your lesson, be a better person, and move on. Don't hold on to the pain and the anger, the resentment, the hatred. But the sadness will come when you think about things that you do that hurt other people or hurt other living things. And that's okay. That's normal. That keeps you on top of your compassion. Okay, I went way over. Have a great day. Insist on fabulous. Bye.